I'm Alan Kenny, Editorial Director with REIT.com, and we're in New York for REITWeek 2015, NAREIT's Investor Forum. Join me is Steve Smith, President and CEO of Equinix. So Steve, tell us a little bit about what it's been like becoming a REIT. What do you think the market response has been like?
Well, it's been an exciting process, Alan, for sure. We took 31 months to go through the process to get a positive, favorable response from the IRS, and so we have that now. So we have a private letter ruling. We converted January 1st, 2015. We've gone through our first quarter paying a dividend. We're headed to our second dividend here as we approach the second quarter calendar year. But investors now, so we're switching from 16 years as a company that's predominantly had tech investors to now becoming a REIT where we'll have a hybrid of REIT and tech investors. And I think it'll be a unique story. It's been a very high growth model for several years. We have delivered 49 quarters of sequential top line growth. So it's an exciting top line and bottom line growth. We produce a lot of AFFO and EBITDA growth. We run very healthy margins. We're a global company that has 105 data centers all over the planet that services some of the most mission critical applications in the world. So I think it's going to be an attractive REIT story. We're working very hard to become part of the indices. We're in the NAREIT US index, and we're working hard on two more. And the company's very interested in gaining the REIT investor base, and we're working hard to do that. So we're attending the conferences and spending a lot of time with the new investors.
And look, I've got an iPhone, iPad, anybody who does, we all understand the growing demand for this kind of service. But within what you're doing, within the specific segments, where are you seeing the most growth?
Well, for us, it's the big paradigm shift in the move to cloud computing. So as I mentioned, we have 105 data centers in 33 of the largest markets in the world, and 6,400 customers. And many of these customers are the biggest global 2,000 customers in the world. And so they are all trying to figure out how to go take advantage of this new paradigm shift called cloud computing. But mobile users and mobile devices are a big driver of the demand, the Internet of Things, big data. So all these things that we read about and we hear about, these big technology trends, we tend to play at the intersection of all these trends. All those trends require servers, storage arrays, and networking gear that sits in data centers. And we design, build, and run the most high quality data centers in the world.
And you're also involved in international markets. Can you give us an idea of how those compare to the US right now?
About 57% of our operations is US based, Americas based I should say, which includes Brazil and Canada. And then we're about 25% Europe and about 18%, somewhere in that 17-18% in Asia. So that's our current mix today. But our highest growth business is actually outside of the US. So our highest growth is markets. In the last quarter, we grew in the mid-20s in Asia and in the high teens in Europe. And in the high single digit, low double digit in the Americas business. So that's kind of the makeup of our business. We're pretty unique in that about 68% of our revenue comes from customers deployed in multiple regions with us. And about 82% of our revenue comes from customers deployed in multiple metropolitan areas with us. So very global, very diverse customer base all over the planet.
Thank you so much for your time, Steve.
Sure.
And for more on this and other REIT news and analysis, be sure to visit REIT.com.